Hello, guys and gals, me Mutahar, and it's time, ladies and gentlemen. Today, you must delete Google Chrome from your system. And why is it today that you should delete Google Chrome from your system, ladies and gentlemen? Well, we're reaching the end of Google actually supporting really good ad blocks. Now, when I say delete Google Chrome, I really just mean switch to something else. Unfortunately, the internet that we live in is kind of a goddamn bubble. A lot of people don't really realize that outside the comment section, social media's like loudest warriors, people generally use shit like Google Chrome, okay? A lot of people on the internet, even if you have like Windows installed, which comes with Microsoft Edge, which may as well just be Google Chrome anyways with a different face paint. People will often open up Edge to go to Google Chrome, they'll search up Google Chrome download a new browser from Google, and just run with it, right? People will go out of their way to install Chrome. If you're on Linux, I've never met anybody that unironically installs Google Chrome. If you're a Mac user, same thing. People will open up Safari and sometimes download Chrome. But at least in the Mac case, a lot of people there just kind of realize, hey guys, we actually do have our own browser, Safari. And whether that be people using it on their iPhones or their MacBooks or whatever other goofy Apple product they have, a lot of people in the world use Google Chrome. And unfortunately, Google Chrome is introducing this, basically the Google Chrome that we have is the last version that's supporting something known as MV2, which is Manifest V2, and they'll be finally getting rid of the ability for that specific tool set to be used to block things like web request. Now, that might be a lot of like techie gobbledygook that I just spit out, but basically the idea over here is basically TLDR. Regular Google Chrome removes support for MV2 extensions. Users wishing to continue using MV2 extensions should either migrate to Google Chrome Enterprise or migrate to a non-Chromium browser, or a fork which still supports extensions. So basically the idea over is that Chromium 150 basically loses that extension Manifest V2 disabled, basically meaning that you will not be able to install those older Manifest extensions from Chrome's web store. So basically in Google Chrome, blocking web request permissions is available only to MV2. So why is this suddenly all that important? Well, it's not sudden because I've talked about it plenty of times on my channel. Now, when you want to ad block on Google Chrome, you probably go to the Chrome Web Store. Basically, you click the three little settings panes right here, the settings button. You go all the way down to extensions and you basically, browse the actual extension store. So on the extension store, there's shit like Ultimate fucking Car Driving Game, Quant Search Engine, Volume Master, ad blocks. But a lot of people will download something known as uBlock. Now, there used to be uBlock Origins. Now, you notice how that's missing? Well, it's missing because uBlock Origins is no longer supported on Google Chrome. You can get uBlock Origin Lite, on the other hand, which, according to the actual company over here, uBlock Origin Lite is actually a significant change, meaning that they removed that web request stuff, the declarative net requests, and this change removed capabilities that uBlock Origin, the big pro version, relied for effective ad and tracker blocking. So basically what's going on here is that, you're losing a lot of the dynamic filtering capabilities that actually made the old ad blocker so effective. As a result, the full uBlock Origin is actually removed, and this was removed back in late 2024. So literally this month is kind of the last month going forward that you will not be able to have the best fucking ad blocking experience. Now you might be like, but Muta, you're a YouTuber. Why the fuck are you telling people to goddamn get ads? Well, at the end of the day, I don't really fucking need your money like crazy if it means you're putting your safety at risk on the internet. Now, uBlock Origin Lite is fine, but because it lacks the ability to appropriately block those ads dynamically, that is a big serious issue, because ultimately, at the end of the day, most internet ads will be blocked by this, but when it comes to the fucking battlegrounds of shitty ads versus the ad blockers, that's where you start to lose this situation. Now, may I remind you, ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to ads and ad blocking, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the FBI, okay, the chief cyber warfare division in the country. Straight up says, listen guys, a lot of criminals use search engine advertisements to impersonate brands and get you to download ransomware and spooky malwares. Well, you want to know the best way to protect yourself? Okay, Mr. FBI, how do I protect myself? Before clicking on an ad, click the URL to make sure the site is authentic. Okay. Rather than search for a business, type the business's URL into the address bar. Oh, okay, use a ad blocking extension. Well, I would love to use one, Mr. FBI, man, but it seems like my web browser of choice is saying, don't be blocking too effectively. Now, why would Google be so interested in blocking advertisements? Well, let's not fucking pretend where a whole chunk of Google's money actually comes from. A massive portion, and not a small portion, comes from actual search engine revenue. So basically, ads peppered all over the search engine. In fact, even YouTube is a platform that's loaded with search engine fucking like with all these bullshit ads. For instance, watching some random guy's video, I ended up getting this ad where this individual is giving me advice on something that I can get as a Canadian, okay? Some life insurance fucking slop policy. Well, what's interesting about this story is this guy is clearly AI generated. You wanna know why? Because that's fucking Michael Saylor, a pretty huge crypto investment guy. Yeah, this billionaire is now doing fucking YouTube ads about Canadian life insurance policies. Are you fucking serious? This motherfucker's from Lincoln, Nebraska. You think he gives a fuck? What's wrong with you? Now let's say you're a fucking idiot and you open up the actual ad. Well, thankfully in this case, because I have a network level pie hole, I actually can't open this from Google's ad services. So actually quickly disabling that, I actually did happen to open this up, and you know where it led to in Canadian land? Right over here, qualifying for $250,000. Now imagine, economy's all fucked up these days. Somebody clicks this ad and they're like, whoa, oh my God, I get a good life insurance policy, so if I die, my family's good? Well, look carefully at this woman. That's a fucking synth, boys. That's an AI bot right there, if I've ever seen one. You know, who the hell is holding up a $250,000 policy with a goofy-ass approved stamp? I mean, listen, you'd have to be a fucking idiot to believe this, but to be fair with you, there's a lot of people that don't know any better, and they fall for this, okay? All right, they fall and they can't get up. Now, is this a scam? For legal reasons, I haven't went through this. I don't know, maybe it is real. Just like those Nigerian princes, you know, one of them has to be real, okay? You know, I've fallen for about 20 of them, but one of them's gonna be real one day, you know what I mean? Crazy shit. So anyways, Google has been pushing the ad block hell onto us, and the other big reality that nobody's really talking about is what happens when you just have a system where the ad blockers will never work. For instance, in a lot of cases when it comes to Google, AI overviews is something that they're pushing, and the reality of it is that AI overviews do also have ads. You may not know about this, but the AI overviews, Google actually has ways for them to stick in ads inside them. For instance, right over here, ads in AI overviews are actually available in English in Australia, Canada, India, Indonesia, Kenya, Malaysia, not every country, but all the way, like, you know, and everything listed here. Both the user query as well as the content of the AI overviews are considered when serving these ads. Currently, text and shopping ads from existing search and campaigns are eligible to show an AI overview, but thankfully, they've blocked it for things like adult, alcohol, gambling, finance, yada yada yada. Until, of course, whenever I guess it's safe to deliver that shit. You know, you can't get an ad blocker that can just go into an LLM's output and remove in real time, at least now. So I guess the end of the day, the ad situation is moving to a place where Google is basically turning the internet into zero click. If you don't know what this means, effectively, when it was researched, like 58.5% of Google searches actually result in 0 clicks. And what that means is somebody looks up, I don't know, how does a Stinger missile lock on, for instance, right? And what Google will do is be like, hey, here's the AI overview, right? But here's the thing, look at it carefully. It gives you an answer which may or may not be true. Now see where it comes from, how stuff works? So basically, instead of traffic going towards this person's website where you might view an ad and support them, Basically, they've taken all of their shit and just put it in the overview. And here's the kicker too. There's another guy's YouTube video right over here from like AI Telly, which I don't know, may sound from the name to be another AI. So the AI is grabbing shit from the other. I mean, it's a fucking mess. But you can see that if you're a YouTuber that made a video talking about Stinger missiles, well, your video's entire premise got yoinked by the AI, meaning you're not getting the view or the ad revenue. Google's just kind of taking it. Which ultimately, if you're a smaller site where this AI is cannibalizing your info from, well, you can imagine why it's bad for the internet if all those guys get stifled out and eventually the only place I guess you're ever able to get your answers is from the hallucinating AI box right here. If you are somebody that's still using Google search, here's a pro tip: do minus AI in front of it, and boom, you get the regular, old school, the old school overview. But again, pro tip, just get your own Seer XNG instance hosted on your own system and just look up how do Stinger missiles lock on. I don't know why I'm that in. I just played through Metal Gear Solid 1, so there's no particular reason that I'm looking into it. But see, right here, look at that, boys. I actually get my search results without the fucking slop thrown at me. Now, ultimately, at the end of the day, I think in the world of shitty ads that we have to deal with, I'm not a fan of them. And I totally think that you should be, if you're browsing anything on the internet, you should absolutely have an ad blocker. Before I ever install an ad, there was a time and period where I was like, oh, I need an antivirus. I don't have any antivirus on my systems, but I'll tell you right now, I never browse the internet without the motherfucking Brave shields up. Now, what are alternatives that you can get instead of Google Chrome? Well, obviously there's Brave browser, which obviously exists as the only Chromium fork that doesn't just make an extension to AdBlock, but it actually bakes the ad blocker into the core system itself. Brave is basically the only browser that I would recommend. Now here's the thing, I'm not sponsored by any of these companies, but at the end of the day, right, I'll promote them, I'll promote whatever I think is the better privacy solution. I generally will only promote what I actually use, which is Brave in this case. But I think when it comes to open source stuff like any of this Chromium shit, the problem is Google basically gets to decide the future. Nobody agrees with this, but because Google is by and large the largest market share of browsers, unfortunately they just get to dictate wherever the fucking Chromium project kind of goes, which is unfortunately annoying. It sucks for anybody on the Chrome side of things. Now look, there are alternatives you can get. For instance, you can go to your app store. Windows users, you go on your web browser of choice. There's also options like WaterFox. It's so easy to switch browsers that you can just go to your app store, at least on Linux. You can click on the actual browser like WaterFox and just install that. And boom, once it downloads, you're basically ready to go. So boom, it's just done right there. So look at that, boys. It launched your privacy-focused browser. Okay, let's get started. Oh, you can't import anything? That's fine. I don't really save a bunch of shit anyways. I don't know. What do I use? Light mode? Ooh, flashbang? Or dark mode? Yeah, let's just stick with dark mode. Oh, you want to add sponsor block, iCloud? Actually, some pretty decent recommended extensions. Again, always follow the YouTube TOS when you're installing any extension. Oh, set as default browser? Wow, man, it's so simple to just hit continue and wow, it's already fucking done. Is it really that difficult for people to get off Chrome? I've never, there's really no reason for you to use something like Google Chrome. Unless there's that one website or web service that only works with Google. And I have no idea about any of that. But basically, once you're over here, ladies and gentlemen, you can now finally browse the internet in a private, safe fashion. And you know what? Actually, even YouTube will work just fine here. Now, if you're somebody that's like, fuck Firefox, fuck Chrome, Muda, what about something totally different? Well, apparently there's one browser called Ladybird. And, aside from being the cutest dog on TV, ladies and gentlemen, this is apparently a new browser that's built entirely from scratch. And it's got some pretty big names following it. You got Futo, who I believe is Louis Rossmann associated, and You know, Louis Rossmann is the guy that I can put my fucking trust in. Ultimately, at the end of the day, I feel like if I use something like this, I'll probably put money towards enough to get into the sponsor tier. It'd actually be great to have like some ordinary gamers like sponsoring a fucking browser. Now, this is not something that's easily downloadable, but you can build it and you can run it yourself here. So if you are somebody that wants to try it really quickly, ladies and gentlemen, fuck it, let's do it. So I'll open up my little terminal. I'll copy the Ladybird Git, clone that shit right here. Again, it goes without saying, run every Python script with, again, at your own risk. So anyways, we're going to go right in here, and then, what is it, /meta, Ladybird. I don't know why I'm doing Ladybird, but anyways, type that in, hit run, and hopefully we'll actually get this browser fired up right here. Oh no, I don't have CMake installed. Fuck. Wait, you guys want to see the laziest way to do it? Let me just spin up a fucking agent and do it for me. That'd be funny as fuck. I downloaded the Ladybird project onto my home folder. Can you run it for me? Their website is the ladybird.org. This is how you put your hardware through the paces. just for no reason. I could have installed all the requirements myself, but sometimes I just like to do shit like this because it is goofy. All right, well, actually, while that browser actually builds, it's going to take like 20 to 60 minutes on my system, which is kind of interesting. Like, let me actually check what the actual build time is looking like. Just give me a top. You actually give it a little bit. It's taken some time to build the thing together. You can see it's actually building the browser in the background, so you won't get to see Ladybird, at least on this video. Maybe I'll save it for another time. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, there are some alternatives. Just download another browser because basically at the end of the day, Google Chrome is yoinked away the only reason to kind of stick around, which, well, not the only reason, but basically one of the largest reasons is ad blocking. And I don't think we should be supporting any browser that is so hostile towards what is effectively a basic safety feature on the internet, is what I think. There's so many other alternatives exist. You know, again, de-Googling your life is not difficult. Downloading other projects, downloading other systems is so much better. And not only that, but just de-Googling yourself from their search engine and using something local is just the way to go, all right? Especially if you want to keep yourself safe online and browse the internet with much more sanity. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, this is me, Mutahar, and if you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Dislike if you dislike it. I am out.